Hello everyone. I hope you've got your sound switched on. Obviously, otherwise you won't be able to hear this now. Today's lesson is session 1 of Unit 34 Website Design Strategy. As you can see from the notes on screen here, you're going to be using the slideshow option. So make sure that you click on the slideshow button up here and then play from the beginning. And once again, it's useful because you can pause the slideshow at any time, and this will help you make notes. So today's lesson, we're going to be looking at a number of things. Obviously we need to understand a bit about Unit 34, its aims, purposes, and the area we'll cover. And then we're going to look at a marketing model that's quite useful in terms of websites, called the IDA model. And finally we're going to look at some key concepts in website design, and all this will then allow you to answer P1. So in terms of unit itself, it does cover 3 different learning outcomes. The first is to know the purpose of a range of websites and to understand the elements and website design, usability and visual appeal, and this lesson covers both of those outcomes to some extent. The final learning outcome, which we'll do much later on, is plan and develop a website for an organization. So the areas you'll be covering, it's very useful in terms of, being a business and wanting to manage your own website. So you've got areas like e-commerce, being able to target promotions, advertising, email campaigns, but developing business goals through the use of e-commerce. Obviously the concept is to increase sales through targeted campaigns. Also websites are very useful in terms of news, sharing information, influencing people, and of course technical information. And with the current crisis at the moment, we're relying a lot on websites to provide us with up-to-date information and advice on what to do. So you can see how powerful websites are and how useful they are to us now. You've got to remember 30 years ago they didn't exist and we got our information from other sources, but now it's just a click of a button. We can access all kinds of information across the world. For businesses, they provide very important information. They help business communicate obviously with their customers, and a lot of different touch points can be achieved through a website, so the customer can stay connected to the business without actually having to physically go into that business anymore. And of course, we all love entertainment. YouTube keeps us all occupied, sometimes in class when we're not supposed to be, but entertainment is a big factor when it comes to websites. So we'll learn a lot about these over the next few weeks, but the main goal today, of course, is to be able to answer this. What you're asked to do here is to contrast 3 different websites from contrasting organizations. So it's good to be able to look at websites, for example, from non-profit organizations. It's good to be able to look at an e-commerce platform, and even just an informational or brochure type website. You'll learn more about these in a moment, and to be able to see what kind of content they have and design they have that ultimately is geared towards getting the visitor to do something, and we'll learn more about that in a moment. Okay, we'll come back to this later. Before we actually talk about websites, it's very important to just remind ourselves of marketing, because obviously a website is a key marketing tool, one of the most well-used marketing tools now. So just to remind ourselves what marketing is, it's the action of a business to promote and selling products or services, often starting with market research. The great thing about websites when it comes to marketing is it can be very, very targeted. So just briefly, the 3 main concepts of marketing obviously is targeting. It's no good spending lots of money on an advertising campaign if the people you want to see it don't see it. I'm sure you've learned a lot about marketing in your other lessons, but websites provide a great opportunity to target exactly the right people. So it involves a lot of what we call segmentation, understanding who your visitors are, which is the first rule really in any kind of website design. If you understand who they are, what type of visitors you're aiming for, then you can design the content around their needs, if you like. And a website then will allow you to then use the 7Ps or the 4Ps through that medium to achieve obviously the goal that business is set out to do. So yeah, from a marketing perspective, websites are great for targeting a certain segment of people, and then using a combination of the 7Ps to encourage that visitor to take action. Now, there's a lot of different marketing models out there. My particular favorite, and because it's a simplistic one and it can be applied to anything, is the AIDA model. And we are talking about websites here, but it could be anything. You know, when you write your own CV, when you one day you write your personal statement, if you write an article for a newspaper, you need to grab the reader's attention. That's crucial, especially in today's world where, you know, there's so much information and our concentration spans, of course, lowered. We don't want to spend time on things that aren't of interest. So you've got to make someone be interested from the get-go. So as soon as they land on your landing page, there's got to be something that's going to grab their attention. And that's just the first stage. And then, of course, there needs to be something there that is going to develop their interest, hold them on the page long enough, or move them to another page if they're going to follow that route. But it needs to develop their interest, and of course then build desire. Desire is crucial, because if you can build enough desire with your visitor, then that's the road, you know, getting them to take some form of action, and we'll talk more about that in a moment. So let's take a look at a website here. This is a non-profit organization, the Dogs Trust. As P1 says, give some brief background overview of your organization. Talk in general about what that organization's goals and you know, their aims and goals are really. Because of course, whatever their goals are, the website must reflect that. It must be looking to achieve those goals. And of course, Dogs Trust is a charity aimed at, you know, looking after dogs, raising money for, you know, rehousing dogs, and just and also educating people about taking care of dogs. So it's got a number of goals, and you need to kind of talk about very briefly. Remember, this is a P1, and there's 3 websites to contrast. So, you know, it's you're probably talking about 400 to 500 words, which is a lot for a P1, I think, but because there's 3 websites to contrast, it's quite easy to hit that word count. So especially as the first part of that will be just very briefly talking about the organization you have selected and what their business goals are, or their organizational goals are, because then you'll be able to reflect on whether their website is geared towards achieving those goals. Now, there are some important concepts in website design strategy. The first one is when you land, or when you come onto the web page, and often we find a web page through a search engine, which we're going to look at more closely in a later lesson. But when we first land on that page, that is, you know, it's like the shop window of a retail store. That's the first thing the visitor sees, and so forth. So therefore, the first page, the landing page, is the most important, and we can distinguish the landing page excuse me, between 2 aspects. We can talk about above the fold. This is the most important area of the landing page. This is like the main, in terms of, if you compare this to retail stores, this is everything at the front of the store as you walk in. This is, you know, this is what really grabs the attention of the visitor. And the fact that they don't need, the reason we say above the fold, it means that there's no scrolling required. It's there, it's the first thing they see, that the visitor doesn't need to take any action. Now when they do scroll, everything below that point is known as below the fold. So it's just having an understanding of that, and when you do your analysis of the website, make sure you focus more on above the fold, simply because at this stage, well actually, when you work through the IDA model, the grab the attention part has to be above the fold, but when we talk about building interest and desire, this often becomes below the fold, or even moving to another page as well, which we'll look at in a moment. But these are very important concepts to understand: above the fold and below the fold. You can go a bit deeper if you like. I mean, Google, for example, and Apple have done some research on just how important this landing page and above the fold is. I remember reading an article many years ago about, I think it was Apple, they had 100 people in a room, and they were watching, or they measured their eye movements, and they all these people were sitting at PCs or laptops, and they were looking to see where the first movement was of these 100 people when they landed on a web page, and it was actually found to be at the very top left of a website, which is probably why you'll find that most businesses put their name and their logo in the top left. However, as you'll learn, the actual action buttons, the CTAs, which we'll talk about in a moment, tends to be on the top right. But yeah, that's just an extra point there. So IDA is of course important concept, when designing a website, because if you don't, find ways to incorporate this concept into your design, then you will lose your traffic. We call this the bounce rate. What this means is someone arrives at your website, they come to the landing page, and their eyes look over it very quickly, and they make a quick decision. Oh, this isn't for me, I'm gone, and they move on to the next one. So they bounce away, if you like. So this is called a bounce rate. And if you design a website and you have something called Google Analytics or some other analytical program, it will tell you precisely how many people have bounced from your site. I think there's a certain amount of time they're there, but I think if it's under like 10 or 15 seconds and they leave, then that is regarded as a bounce, and then that will register on your analytics. So if you've got a bounce rate of over 50%, there are some major issues with your website that you'll need to address, and hopefully by the end of this you'll understand what those issues might be. So yeah, bounce rate is an important concept in website design. You want it as low as possible. A successful website will have a bounce rate of under 5%, for a number of reasons, which hopefully we're going to learn about soon. So from a website design point of view, and from a business objective or goals point of view, is you want your customers or your visitors to do something. That's the point of marketing. You want to inform them about something, you want maybe take them on a little journey, and then you want them to actually take action in some way. Now on a website, this action is referred to CTAs, call to actions. And so these are typically, as you can see with the Dogs Trust, top right, donate now. This is a charity. One of the main goals of a charity is to raise funds, so it can help the group, or in this case dogs, improve their well-being and whatnot. So their main objective is to raise as much funds as possible, hence why the CTA is always going to be visible. The main CTA, which is donate now, is always going to be visible on every page you click on for the Dogs Trust. In fact, you can see on this website there's 2 donate buttons, and they've got like a bar at the bottom that makes donating very, very easy. So yeah, that's very important, that when applying the IDA model to a website, that it's all about funneling people towards action. As you can see, a well-designed website will funnel visitors to their most desired CTA. Websites can have a number of CTAs. I mean, the Dogs Trust and other, like Oxfam and other charity websites, you'll find that they have the Donate Now button. There's also a Learn More if they're doing a particular event, and there's also Buy Now, which means they've got an e-commerce part to their website. They've got a shop where you can go on there and buy often second-hand donated goods. And so for an e-commerce platform, the main CTA is always Buy Now, for obvious reasons. So when it comes to website design and this use of the AIDA funnel, it's about taking the visitor on a journey. It's like almost the same as when they come into a building and they walk through a building. You don't want someone to get lost in the building. You want to be able to guide them, send them to the right room. And it's the same with website design, and that's why it's often referred to as website architecture. You know, the design of a website that creates the best journey for the visitor, which channels them or funnels them to take action, getting them to activate a CTA. So starting with the AIDA model now, there are a number of ways a website can grab attention. As you can see from the top left hand screenshot there, one of the most important ways to grab attention is the headline. This is a similar concept in anything really. You know, in an article, a newspaper article, there's always a headline. You know, it's always going to be larger, bolder, and catchier. It's designed obviously to grab their attention. This one here, all Tia wanted was someone to finally notice her. You know, those people that love dogs, you know, the idea of a dog being ignored and whatever, that's quite an emotive, powerful thing. So a headline is going to hopefully play into that and get those people that love dogs to immediately connect with that, and therefore they won't bounce. Now, another important aspect of any design, and we're not really going to go too much into it because it's a huge area and it's colors. You can do a little bit of research on it, and actually it's so easy to do research. All you do in Google is type in something like what does pink mean in design, and you'll get something like this. You know, both red and pink denote love, passion, romantic, charming, playfulness. So colors mean something. They trigger something in us, and so web designers are very careful in what colors they choose. So when looking at your website for P1, just very quickly, if there's a lot of green there, or if there's a lot of orange there, just Google what does orange mean in design, and you'll get something like this, and try and incorporate that. So yeah, headline, colors, very important for grabbing attention. Imagery is very important. Good images are key. If the images are not good, then immediately the visitor thinks that the website is of low quality, and we have issues of trust. We'll talk more about trust later, but trust is an important concept in website design. You know, if the site looks dodgy, you know, people might think, well, I'm not going to buy anything or do anything from here because it doesn't look real. So quality pictures or images help change that mindset or belief when they visit. And of course videos are great for that now, and you'll see now when you land on a website that that there's immediately videos play. They start off as an image and then they start to immediately play. They might be might be a GIF image as well, so it's slightly animated as well, but these images are very high quality and designed to, you know, grab your attention. For a lot of e-commerce sites, a very common one is to just go straight in with the hard sell, big discounts, that type of thing. So once you've got their attention and they've not bounced from your website, they might start scrolling below the fold, which is a good sign. You want to be able to now build their interest and desire, and of course a common way to do that is quality content, and this can include articles, blogs, interviews, even forums. Forums are where the visitor actually interacts, leaves comments about maybe the website or other people's comments, and it keeps people engaged in that website longer. And once again, images and videos are used to grab attention, but also equally they're used to build interest and desire. Typically on, you know, charitable websites and things, you will see images, you know, sometimes quite disturbing images, you know, to build people's interest and desire to help. And of course videos do that a lot better now. The key thing with videos is obviously not to have it run too long. When you start looking at videos over a minute and a half, you know, it's difficult to hold people's attention that long. Another crucial area, especially when it comes to e-commerce websites, you know, where you're trying to sell something, is to have testimonials and product reviews. This is particularly good for building interest and desire, because people trust other people more than maybe the business. So to see, you know, thousands of reviews, all close to 5 stars, it's kind of that social confirmation you need to take action. And that's why Amazon is such a powerful e-commerce platform, because, you know, it's all about the reviews. As soon as you see a product, you see the price on Amazon, you're looking at the images and what it does, maybe the description, but the thing that really determines whether you're going to purchase that product is the reviews for most cases. So yeah, very powerful in building that desire to have the product. If everyone else is using it and it's going great and it's changing their lives, then there's nothing better than that. So finally, it's all about this final part really. Hopefully you've grabbed their attention, you know, the content has built their interest and desire, and you've now teed them up to take action. And action, you know, is all about the quality of the content. As I've just said, this ultimately determines whether to take action. Poor images, you know, not particularly interesting headlines, you know, no testimonials, people are going to bounce. So, or visitors are going to bounce. So it's important that you have all that other content right, especially above the fold, because that's where you don't want to lose them. Now, even if your website is great, it's, you know, it's got great content, it's all focused on building interest and desire of a particular subject, like maybe dogs, but what if you hate dogs, and, you know, maybe you're a cat lover? The point is, why did you ever find your way onto the Dogs Trust website? This is important because it's a concept known as a quality of your traffic that's coming to your website. That's what search engine is all about. Now, we won't get too much into it at this stage, it's a big area to talk about, but search engine optimization is about using search engines correctly so that they direct the right kind of traffic to you. And it comes back to what we earlier talked about in marketing called segmentation. Once you understand your visitor, what segments, you know, the segment that they are, you know, then you can incorporate that in search engine optimization to ensure that you get the right visitors to your website, because that's really the first challenge. If you bring the right people in, they land on your page, they see immediately a headline that they connect with, and that's it, you got their attention. If someone lands on their page and they're not looking for anything relating to dogs, for example, then, you know, they're straight away going to bounce. So that's crucial. And then finally, when they're within your website, I mentioned earlier about website architecture, it's the whole journey itself. Is it easy to find things? Are the images good quality? Does the content read well? Is it good English? If I click on something, i.e. a link, does it take me to the correct place? This idea of broken links is very bad for a website. You know, does it lead me nicely to where I want to go? So if I'm looking to buy a product, I want to see some images, I want to understand it, a description, maybe I want to watch a very short video, and then I want to see what other people think of it, and then I want to buy it. Can I see the buy button immediately? These are very important concepts in website design, and this is often called user flow. And actually, Google Analytics shows you exactly where your visitors are going and where they're bouncing from. So it's really a very powerful tool, which we'll talk more about another time. But the idea at this stage is to get them to that CTA and get them to take action. You don't want them going off to different parts of the website that are not relevant to your overall business objective. So in terms of signing people up for a newsletter, it's important to make sure that they're, or take a tour or download something, that they stay focused on that goal. And so everything is funneled towards that, hence the IDA funnel marketing model. So hopefully you understand a bit more about IDA, and you'll be able to use this to apply to your free websites. The first thing you need to do as well as talk about the very briefly explain what the business or the organization is about, you must also identify what type of website it is. So there's a lot of different types of classifications of websites. For example, what you're seeing now is informational website. Now I won't go through these because they're pretty standard stuff. You can pause at any time, remember, and read and take notes of each one of these types of websites. But you've got informational, you've got brochure style, catalog style websites, blogs, personal websites, social media and networking websites, and photo sharing websites. And typically, like the Dogs Trust, that's an informational website stroke e-commerce website, because you can obviously purchase stuff, but the idea is to deliver information about their cause, and then of course encourage people to donate or buy something. So I'm hoping now that you guys have got enough information to now write P1, and you can see now that there is an upload link here. Ignore the dates. Some people have not had a chance to upload yet, so it says the 18th, but obviously I'm going to change that date now, because some of you are seeing this for the first time, in particular those coming back from Portugal. So hopefully you've got everything there. Any other issues or questions, then go to Teams. We have a Unit 34 Teams group set up, and just send me a message. You can either do that within the team or you can do it privately, and I'll answer any questions. But make sure you get this done and uploaded, because I want to do another quick session for P2. We need to get P2 done as well. Okay, so good luck.